Okay, this is going to be a basic walkthrough of some simple Git commands to get you started working with repos. I'll go over some of those basic commands, and so you'll know what you need to know to pull, update, commit, and push your work within Git. So first, we want to work with a remote repo. You want to be able to pull that, clone that repo down to your local workstation. So let's go to GitHub. I'm in my repository that I want. I have my SHD shared, and I'll go over the command line. I'll pull that down. Then I'll cd into the repo. And if I just want to look around, let's do a git status to see what branch we're on. You can see we're on the main branch. We're up to date. There's nothing to commit. We haven't done anything, right? So typically, if you're working in a repo that's already cloned down, you want to do a git pull before you begin working with the repo, just to make sure that you're up to date with the latest changes. So do a git pull, and of course, we're already up to date. Now, if you wanted to just kind of check out those changes before pulling them down, you could do a git fetch -- all. And it's going to fetch any changes on the remote repository. And this might be handy, in case you have some conflicting files already in your repo. All right, so let's do a basic walkthrough. So let's go touch a couple files here. File 2, file 3. Now let's say I'm done working with those files. Let's do a git status. Okay. So at this point, it says we have some untracked files, file 2 and file 3. Okay. So we want to add them to Git. So git add file 2, file 3. And that would add it to our repo. You can also do a git add -a, but that's really bad form because kind of not being precise with what you want to add, and you could end up adding something you don't want to. So we added them. No feedback, that's okay. Git status. And at this point, Git is telling us these are the changes to be committed. This is what we consider the staging area. Okay, so we have everything added. What we're going to want to do now is commit them to our repo. Git commit, and you can use -m to write a short message, or if you just leave we'll do this the second way next, but commit -m. We'll do a short message like adding bug fix to file 1, file 2, file 3, right? Great. So let's check it out. Okay. Now it says our branch is ahead by 1 commit, meaning we made a commit that the remote branch doesn't have yet. So let's push it up. Git push from the origin to the main branch, and everything looks good. So if we didn't have our SSH keys shared, or having some kind of network issue, we'd see some kind of failure here saying the remote repository wasn't up to date. So now we see we're in sync. So what if let's go back here to our remote repository. We can see the files that are pushed there. Great. Let's add a file, and we'll call that yet another file. And let's go ahead and commit that. And there it is. So now the remote repo has it, but we don't have it locally, right? Because it doesn't just get automatically synced. So what we could do, and what you should do, is a git pull. All right, and it tells us fast forwarded our branch. That's a little advanced to learn about at this point. But now we are in sync, and we have the yet another file. Right. So great. Now, typically, what you're going to do, so that's a basic workflow, and that'll get you through, 75% of the work, especially if you're like checking out Git to update a config file or make a very small bug change. But typically what you're going to want to do is check out a repository and actually create your own branch from it. And that way you keep in this case, the main branch clean from any, silly bugs that you might make along the way, because that's what happens. So git checkout -b. So this checks out a branch, and this is going to tell us to make a new branch called my new branch. So, and it switches us to us automatically. And we can see we're on my new branch. We can also just type git branch, and you can see that too. I have the main branch, my new branch, git branch -a. Also shows remote branches, but you want to deal with the local branches. And if you don't have local branches pulled locally, you want to pull the remote branches locally. So at this point, you can touch all your cool stuff. And same process, right? Make a file. It's not tracking it, so you want to track it. And you want to commit it. We'll do it the other way this time. Just basically just type git commit. It'll pop you in your default editor for Git. And this top line is actually going to be that short comment that we wrote before. So, and if you type too much, yeah, see the color change there? Git is pretty smart, and it's telling you that it's not going to accept anything past there. So you have to keep that first line very short. And here you could go on as long as you want. All right, that. So we did the commit. You always have to have a commit message within commit. So we're on my new branch. So instead of doing git push origin main, we're going to get push origin my new branch. Cool. So it pushed up and it said, oh, do you want to create a pull request? So basically what this is saying is, if we go ahead and do this, let's do it. We're going to be asking the main branch to merge our stuff into the main branch. So you're done with you made the changes on your own branch, and you want to go ahead and push that into the main branch. So yeah, you can go ahead and merge that. Confirm merge. Cool. Let's do the comment. All right. So let's go back to our main branch we have right here. And awesome. All right, got my cool stuff merged in there. So that's the GUI way of doing it. Remember, we're still on my new branch. So I want to move back to the main branch. So just git checkout main status. Now it says our branch is up to date, but actually the remote is has more files. So we always want to do a git pull when we're going back into a different branch. You see my cool stuff's there now. So let's do another branch, another checkout with a new branch. All right, so we're there, another branch, another handy command, git remote test v, and you can actually see the the git remote branch that you're working with, especially if you're working in an enterprise where you have multiple Git services like GitLab and Atlassian tools, or just like a server running Git. It's good to know where this is actually pushing to. So we are in another branch. Touch. That's the best branch. And I'm doing this, actually, let's go ahead and just do a regular quick commit message. Whoops, didn't add it. All right. So we push origin. Now you could just do a git push here. But that git push can only be set to one thing. So, it's best practice to always be very explicit what you're pushing to another branch. And no problems. All right, so we're up to date. Our remote branch is up to date, but we haven't merged it. So let's check out main again. Do a git pull. We know there's not going to be anything there. Now we can do a git merge. All right, and it pulled our file in. There's the best branch. Now, locally, we have the main branch up to date, but remotely we don't. So let's go ahead and fix that. And we should be up to date. There's the best branch.